Welcome back to Fire Emblem Echoes. Last time we took Sophia, this time we're starting Act 2. Starting out with perhaps one of the most anime cutscenes in all of Fire Emblem, which is impressive because Echoes is a pretty grounded game as it is. And now we're gonna watch this shit.
Yeah.
Watch this old man who's got the moves.
You took everything! Everything that I ever loved!
You took Mr. Sun!
You took Sophia! You took my friends!
We don't get very many fights like this in Fire Emblem. Mm-hmm. And I feel like most of them were in the Radiant games.
Yeah, and even then, like... Oh, actually, no, one of them in Radiant Dawn was actually really cool, but I was thinking of one of the early cutscenes, which was, you know, a curb stomp for reasons.
Yeah.
I have to kill fast and shield too slow.
Please stop! What's going on? Can't you see me?
We very specifically cannot.
I'm begging you, please!
I love everybody in the background just like, hell yeah! Get him! Fight! 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 Fight!
There needs to be like money exchanging hands in the background.
Oh my god, parkour! Wait, oh no, he's just gonna... Oh, okay. Well, somehow that's the part of that move that went horribly wrong. Oh, Jesus. You can't defeat me, Alm. I don't care about my bones. I will just move however I feel like. Also, I'm Satan, I guess. Man, what a terrible dream. Could only get worse if there was, I don't know, some kind of dream where I got stabbed by Alm. Wouldn't like that.
Hey, why are they clanging that infernal bell?
Because it's
Apparently
noon.
the king's passed away.
Oh, okay, that's
No less at
the
least.
regicide bell. Okay.
But isn't that... He was Celica's...
Oh dear. I hope she's dealing with this okay.
You're certain I can't dissuade you from going, little one?
Don't you hear those bells? The king's dead. It's time to celebrate. Oh, right, yeah. Sorry.
Sorry for your loss, or happy that you're free now, whichever fits.
Sorry for your loss. When do you want the wine?
Mother Milla. I can't help but feel this is all related. I know it.
Perhaps it is at that. I'll not deny that the kingdom of Sophia faces her darkest hour in some time. More sick and hungry come to the priory's door each day seeking aid.
Which, considering we're on an isolated island, kind of a problem.
They keep arriving by the literal boatloads.
But little one, you know well the reason Myson placed you in my care.
Good beard.
With the king's passing, you are the last living member of the Zophian royal line. There are many who would seek to use you, or even end you. That threat is greater now than ever, yet you would still leave, knowing that?
I mean, there are zombies, like, everybody's gonna get killed eventually if you don't do anything about it.
You've done so much to keep me safe, and it breaks my heart to pain you. But what calls me to do this goes beyond my heart. I can only ask your forgiveness, Noma.
Keep your cries of forgiveness, little one. I'll not give what isn't required. If this is your mind, I won't object. Follow the path before you. Trust in it as I in you.
Ah, thanks,
you,
Noma.
Noma.
You're a way better dad than King Lima.
Of course.
Anyway, time to never acknowledge your existence for most of the game.
Noma, more like no more appearances.
You've uncommon talent as a warrior priestess, but carelessness is fatal. Ah, and you mustn't forget Milla's turn wheel.
I wear it always. You know that.
Just had to establish that, Celica.
I'm certain
I may know
prove
that, but the
helpful on
audience
your
doesn't,
journey.
Celica.
Thank you, Noma. For everything. Well then, I think I'll be on my way.
You're leaving this very instant?
Well, what else do I have to
Surely you
do?
can stay until the bell's last peal.
It's gonna be going for a while. We need people to know the king's fucking kicked
As
it.
you know.
I'll never think of that man as my father. Now if you'll excuse me.
Little one,
Alright, got some people to talk to.
may you walk always in the light of Miller's blessing, little one.
Though we've gotten everything important from Noma.
When Rigel broke the divine accord, this plague of terrors fell upon
Big
us.
terror.
But surely their own lands must be suffering the same fate.
Yeah, you get zombies too.
Driven them to invade Zofia at such a price.
Was that worth it?
Would
Was it worth the
really
zombies?
like to know
Huh?
what's going through Emperor Rudolph's mind.
Lately, Nova sees boat after boat filled stern to bow with hungry refugees.
Oh, well.
Alas, for
Yeah,
them.
no, it was literal.
This island's no better off than anywhere else. We're even poorer than most, what with pirates seizing inbound supply ships.
Yeah, no, if you
Soon
came here
have not
hungry,
to
you're
eat
gonna get
what fish
hungrier.
the waves see fit to provide. These are dark times we face.
Alright, with that done, we can step... Oh, well, we can look at the Mila idol, but... nothing to, really do with it, of course. Could look around the room. Not much to look at.
I don't think I appreciated how optimistic the people of Ram Village were about their lot in life.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, here, it's just everybody's sad.
Celica, I heard the news. You're going to the Temple of Mila, right? If so, then I'm going too. You can't say no.
Thanks, May. To be honest, I'd welcome the help.
Good, because I'm coming too. I'm not letting the two of you off.
So, this is May and Bowie. These are the required characters. They're both mages, and while I do like May more, Bowie got a fucking glow up from the NES game. Like, everybody did, but like,
I can conjure
fucking
my
look at
belly.
Bowie.
Big, hurdy,
They made
lightning.
Bowie hot enough that you
What
had
have
to
got?
comment on it on
Fire?
Twitter.
Maybe I'll call you if I want to roast marshmallows.
Let's just say you'd both be a great help and leave it at that, shall we? I know I'll be counting on you both. This isn't going to be an easy journey. Still, I'm glad I'll have such good company.
Alright, so May and Bowie join. But of course, there's a third person in this room. Let's talk to her too. Or are we gonna get the wine first? No, we're gonna talk to Jenny.
Celica, can I go with you?
I would be a monster if I said no. So that's Jenny, she's our cleric. We got one already. Which is good, because we'll need one. What with this being a party of mostly mages and all. So yes, we've got two mages in May and Bowie, a cleric, which is just a different type of mage that makes you bleed less, and we have Celica, who has the priestess class, which isn't necessarily unique. She does have a unique class line, but, you know, for the time being, that's not important. Priestess is a class that can wield both swords and magic. As you might imagine, that is pretty damn good. Celica's got options. All needed a sword to fight from a distance. Celica just has that built in. We also have a brief dungeon section, but don't worry, there's no monsters in here. This is just right here so that we can find these fountains. So, yeah, let's look over our party real quick. Hey, future me, you've got this, right? Alright, there we go, and the parentheses are back. Yeah, I'm good to go. Alright, so, time to go over Celica's party, starting with, of course, Celica herself. Much like Alm, her growth rates are just phenomenal compared to basically any other character in the game. She's overall just really good, with some stats that are actually past 50%. Wow, fancy. This means that she's gonna be a bit more well-rounded than most other characters who will specialize, so on and so forth. We know this from Alm already, and now it's a bit of that again, except Celica, of course, has magic. Now, of course, Celica's magic table isn't exactly the most extensive, considering she only has her own promotions. She cannot reclass, so she doesn't get any cleric classes. Not that it matters too much. You are going to prefer her flinging magic, stabbing with a sword, so on and so forth, and eventually she does get the recover spell, so not only can she attack, she can also heal as well. So yeah, Celica is super versatile, and not only that, while she is a little more squishy than Alm was, having less HP growth rate or defense, and not even that much more resistance growth either. However, Celica actually has the better attack. Of course, Alm's got better skills, and in terms of gaining battle abilities that are better for just smacking people with a sword, yeah, his are better. But that does mean that she hits hard and has some pretty powerful magic as well. And not only that, she enjoys higher speed than Alm as well. And better luck if we just want to throw in all the comparisons. So yeah, Celica is just all in all very powerful. Very fit to lead the rest of the party. Next up we have the Ordinary Mages. So, Mei here's big claim to fame is that she starts with Thunder, which honestly isn't a huge deal. Like, the game itself makes note that she starts with it, unlike Bowie who only has Fire, but I don't really think it's as much an advantage as it makes it out to be. But I guess to be fair, she does learn Aura at level 9, and has an alright spell list overall. You want to know what's really good about Mei? Her attack power. Her attack power is just absolutely phenomenal. Considering almost everybody's resistance in this game, Mei is going to be hitting very hard. She is also relatively fast as well. But of course, being she's a mage, she is very squishy. It does not take much to kill her, and actually, if anything sucks about her, it's her HP growth rate rather than her defense growth rate. Considering she is a mage, you want as much HP as possible so that you can do spells more without it being an issue. And Mei's not exactly going to be able to survive without calling in Jenny every once in a while. At least, not as well as certain other characters. So speaking of other characters, here's Bowie, and oh my god, thank goodness, a male mage, so I don't have to do as much work on the spell list. Thank you for having absolute garbage spells, Bowie. I'm glad you have access to like fucking nothing, my dude. Anyway though, yeah, it's Bowie. He only starts with Fire, but he does get Thunder at level 3, which honestly, that's not a long time to wait to give him any other magic. Mei can brag about Thunder all she wants, but Bowie, ever spurred on by his rivalry, won't take too long to get it himself. Of course, while Mei does get Aura pretty early on, Sagittae isn't exactly anything to sneeze at, and while it does take him longer to get, once you have it, you'll be satisfied with it. Excalibur is also extremely good, it just takes forever for him to actually obtain it. Now, stat-wise, Bowie actually does hit pretty hard himself. Mei is better in that regard, but Bowie will have some pretty strong spells as well. However, his advantage is skill. Oh sure, he doesn't start with much, but neither does Mei, and Mei only has a 30% skill growth rate. Bowie has double that, so while he won't hit as hard, he can hit more often, and also crit at that. His defense is also better, but not by much. Not so much that I would call him a tank at all, in the slightest. Not even remotely, but like, he's got more defense. But again though, his HP growth rate is actually pretty good, and that's what matters. Unfortunately though, his resistance growth rate is garbage, which means, in general, yeah, Bowie's not very good against enemy mages. If you have to take a magic unit against another magic unit, Celica and May are by far the better choices. Especially since Celica just has a sword too, so she can just shank somebody if she needs to. And here's the only character here that you don't have to recruit, but let me tell you, you're going to want to recruit her. It's Jenny. So this being a party of mages means they're going to be running out of HP a lot, which means in longer fights, you're going to need Jenny. In shorter fights, Jenny has a pretty easy way to gain experience, and that is just healing everybody who's flinging spells around. Now, if you want to compare her to Silk, that's where things get interesting, and I don't mean growth rates. If you care about growth rates, Silk is a little bit harder, but not by much. Jenny also has the better resistance growth rate, so she can survive mages a little better. More importantly though, she has fantastic attack and skill growth rates. So technically speaking, I actually think Jenny fares better than Silk does, because she hits hard and has a better time hitting. And I mean, if she hits harder, that means you're recovering more with Nosferatu. So I think in terms of just survivability, Jenny's actually a bit better, even with less HP. Silk's differences in the stat department aren't so better that they're actually impressive, they're just a little bit better, but they're not gonna save her. But no, the thing that's actually interesting between the two of them is their spell list. Clerics, I think, have the most interesting differences when it comes to their spells. Like, May and Bowie have some different spells, but that's mainly because male and female spells are slightly different. But May gets fire and thunder, Bowie gets fire and eventually thunder. Here, however, Jenny has a much different role to fill. Silk worked perfectly in Alm's party because she got access to warp very early on, which means she can just teleport the big beefy units around the battlefield, even if they don't have very good movement. I mean, we did have 2 knights, so like, they kinda need the help. Jenny, on the other hand, gets access to a spell called Invoke. Now, I'm not going to go over Invoke just yet, we're gonna have an episode dedicated to that, but Invoke is a very useful spell for this party. It is going to help our very squishy party survive a little longer. And hey, if that's not enough for ya, Jenny also gets access to the spell Physic, which is a long-ranged healing spell. Unless I forgot to put it on my magic list, Silk doesn't get Physic, which means Silk can send people out to die, because she'll need to rush back in and heal them up close. Jenny? No. She'll have Invoke, which does some stuff, and then she can heal from a distance. Really, Jenny's biggest flaw is the fact that she has such low HP. Invoke is gonna be one that's very taxing on its user, and well, you are not gonna be able to spam it, especially early on. Jenny just doesn't have it in her. When Celica eventually gets a recover spell, that's when Jenny can survive a little more with her bad HP. Until then, she's very fragile and doesn't really have any way to back that up. If you use Invoke, you're gonna need to get Jenny's hands dirty in order to get her HP back up. But yeah, that's it. Jenny is a very interesting healer and I like her differences, but also, she's just very strong. I mean, that's just the power Floof grants you. Even if she didn't have those growth rates, or that very good spell list, honestly, just the powerful haircut alone would make Jenny worthwhile. I mean, look, she was basically just May with one less hair tail in Gaiden, so they didn't just make her look more distinct, they also made her haircut incredibly powerful. Look, I'm jealous, okay? I want to reach those levels of Floof. It's not fair. Okay, cool. Anyway. We've mostly just got healing items for the time being, and I should point out, Celica's inventory is actually different from Alm's inventory, so the items we got from him are not shared. This is not true for the Mila's turn wheel. That cog we picked up earlier, gives us one extra use of the turn wheel for fights, which is very useful, and will also affect Alm as well. He'll also get the effects of that when we get back to him. Now, for the time being, I'm mainly going to get from the Fountain of Speed, because this party, of course, not great with speed and skill at the start, so let's make sure they can do at least a little something before we move on.
Ships leaving the port will get us to the mainland. We should head there now. Though that does mean we'll have to pass through the cemetery on our way.
Or we could just cut diagonally over. What if we just did that?
No, we have to go look at the dancing zombies.
Come check out these moves! Alright, and we have Skirmish. No interesting name for this one.
Milady, this graveyard we're passing through. Why are we again?
Dancing zombies.
Because it's the only way to port.
Yes, but there's been talk of terrors around here as of late.
So there has. Best keep our wits about us then,
Well, if we see some zombies, we'll kill them.
I'll face down thieves or rogues any day, but terrors are different.
They're terrifying.
Oh, Bowie. How can you be so scared of spooks and spirits at your age?
When they're real and can kill you.
A man can't help what gives him fright.
Zombies are real and they're not your friends.
Milady, you wound me.
I'm sorry, Bowie. I was just remembering my brother.
Brother? I didn't realize you had one.
Most people
Yes,
don't,
though by
because
different
he's
mothers.
dead.
He was a sweet thing, but meek. Frightened to death of ghosts. Then he became one, alas.
Jesus, Celica.
Were he alive?
Now he's afraid of
would've been
himself,
quite
probably.
alike, I'm sure.
Anyway, now that I've dropped that, let's move on.
Way to go, Bowie. Your whining's gone and dredged up a bunch of sad memories for Celica.
You cannot possibly blame this on
It's my
me!
fault.
Hold on!
Because it's always your fault. Now suck it up and get ready to fry some foes, terrors or otherwise.
Alright, so we've got our pre-battle prep screen. Don't really need to prep, we don't have a lot of characters, but we've got some zombies to kill. Here they are.
More of them than I remember.
And for a low-leveled party, this isn't going to be an easy fight, but this will also let us demonstrate how useful magic can be, so let's get going.
Terrain bears no influence on magic. I remember Sir Myson saying so. Listen close, friends. Do not be shy about when and where you attack. Even if our foes cower in the woods, our spells will find their mark.
So yes, magic ignores terrain bonuses, but I'm going to ignore the tutorials because I have to mention the song that's playing right now. This is With Mila's Divine Protection. This is Celica's battle theme. And God, it's so good. There's a reason this song got remixed like 10 times before this remake even came out. There's like a version of it in every Smash. Not quite, but like Brawl, I believe, was the first one with it. It was, in fact, one of the Subspace Emissary songs for one of the stage themes. But yeah, With Mila's Divine Protection is so good. I love this song, and it's one of the reasons that I kinda wish there wasn't any sort of, like, battle theme. I kinda wish it was like modern Fire Emblem games where it just transitioned into a different version of the track. It's just dynamic music, but, you know, it's the older games and they didn't want to abandon the standard battle theme, which is the same, so alas, sometimes the good song will have to disappear.
Maybe have it set up like Super Robot Wars and let you change what music plays at what time.
That'd be cool. Anyway, here's a good example of why you want to use magic sometimes. Trying to sword this zombie would not have gone well. To be fair, doing magic didn't go super well either, but hey, got it on the second try.
Thanks to the mother.
Oh, and since I don't think I ever actually mentioned it, Alm's battle theme is March to Deliverance. Which is, not a bad song, to be fair. I'm hyping up this song more, because I do like it more, but it's not like March to Deliverance is bad.
I can kind of tell why you prefer this one, though.
It's very energetic, and it's just got a real catchy tune. Even in the original Gaiden, it was probably one of the best songs in the game, and stand out in the game itself.
So, doing a fight like this with almost entirely mages, I think is a really interesting way to start this chapter.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's a real good way to show the difference between Alm's party and Celica's party, because now we have a second side of this journey, and yeah, Alm's party is kind of very standard army fare, you got a whole lot of soldiers, and maybe Cliff can be a mage, maybe Faye can be a mage, you pick up Silk, but for the most part, yeah, you got a lot of physical hitters, a lot of defensive characters, good attackers, stuff like that. Now we actually get to work with magic a bit more, which is why we're now getting the tutorial for, hey, you don't have to care about terrain bonuses if you're smiting someone.
I have to say, that Bowie fight we just saw broke the 180 rule, so I thought the zombie threw a fireball at Bowie.
The game is just trying out way too many camera tricks, and they're just not working. I know you want to be experimental, but sometimes you just gotta go with tried and true rules.
Damn it, Celica, we were softening that one up for Bowie.
I won't ask forgiveness.
Yeah, so, much like in Alm's party, your Lord-type character is by far the strongest at the start, and might wind up stealing some kills. Again, just like with Alm's army, we're starting with pretty low levels all around. Celica's the only one who's, significantly strong in any way. In Alm's party, at least you had Alm and Lucas, and Gray as well. Gray wasn't half bad. Tobin, kind of middling. And then, yeah, Cliff and Faye were bringing up the rear. But here, yeah, no, it's just all mages. Who, again, cannot hit the broadside of a barn right now. I would like a little more skill on them, but otherwise, yeah, magic hurts a lot. Oh, and speaking of music, I also forgot to mention the names of the map themes, because Alm and Celica also have different map themes. Celica's is the Arc of Dawn, I believe, and Alm's is Where the Wind Rustles, and unlike Celica's battle theme, I do kind of prefer Alm's map theme, but maybe that's because I spent more time with it. It gets in your head very easily.
Yeah.
Arc of Dawn is pretty peaceful, though. That's nice.
Milla has seen us through safely.
Alright, so with a kill count of 4, Celica is, like I said, by far the strongest, but we'll have to fix that up next time on Fire Emblem Echoes. For now, though, gonna just hang out here.